Honourable members, shall we pray? Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favour upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, we shall skip item 2 and move to item 3. That is the National Pledge. So we shall all rise and say the National Pledge. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and toils of our fathers, and I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. Thank you very much. Honourable members, we don't have any message from the President, neither do we have any formal communication from the Speaker. So I will implore you to turn to item 6 in today's order paper, which is correction of votes and proceedings and that of the official report. We will begin with votes and proceedings. Votes and proceedings on Friday, the 14th June 2024. Votes and proceedings. We start from page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page number 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page number 11. Yes, Honourable Chief Whip.
Speaker, if you may indulge me, page 10, item 10.
Item
10. I recall the first Deputy Speaker directed that leadership should have on same subject matter, leadership should have a committee of the whole and invite the Ghana Boundary Commission to come and apprise the House. I think it's a significant directive that was given by the Speaker, the first Deputy Speaker, I should say, and it is missing in the report, if it could be captured.
Yes, so table, kindly take note of that. Page 11. And finally, page 12. Honorable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Friday, the 14th June 2024 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, I have 3 sets of official reports, and I believe you all have seen 3 sets of official reports. The first one is 29 February 2024. 29 February 2024. I repeat, the official report of 29 February 2024. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of 29 February 2024 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, let's move to the 1st March 2024 edition of the official report. 1st March 2024 edition of the official report. 1st March 2024 edition of the official report. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of 1st March 2024 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Finally, we take the 4th March 2024 edition of the official report. 4th March 2024 edition of the official report. I take it again, 4th March 2024 edition of the official report. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of 4th March 2024 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honorable members, before we take the next item, kindly indulge me to look at the public gallery, our children who have come all the way from various destinations to come and witness what we are doing here. I saw this school early in the morning, and they've been here throughout up to this afternoon. So the first school is Christ Jubilee Mission. Christ Jubilee Mission. They are being led by Reverend Ayale Yeboah, who is the head teacher, and the school is located at Tema West constituency. You are welcome. You may resume your seat. Do Do you have Tema West constituency MP here? Tema West is not here. The second school is Divine Providence Catholic School. Divine Providence Catholic School. And this, they are being led by Abigail Josephine Aprekon, who is a teacher, and the school is located at Amasaman constituency. Amasaman constituency. Do you have Honorable FIFA is not here, so you are also welcome. You may resume your seat. And the third and last school is Infant Jesus Catholic Preparatory School. Infant Jesus Catholic Preparatory School. And the school, the team is led by Joseph Asuya Ousu Apienin, who is a teacher, and the school is located at Chufo Himai constituency. Is it Chufo Himai Lower Dentrai constituency? So you are welcome. So you may resume your seat. So on behalf of the House, let me welcome all of you to the House of Representatives. We are own people. I hope you are here to learn what your representatives are doing. Take key note of it, learn with the hope that tomorrow you will come and also replace that. So you are once again welcome. Yes, Honorable Chief Whip.
Speaker, on the 12th of June, a mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the Ghana Bauxite Company was duly presented and appropriately referred to one of our new committees, the Committee on Lands and Natural Resources. Speaker, leadership was engaged to your good self and the Speaker, and we've come to some understanding that that referral has to be changed. Speaker, so same paper had to be now referred to the old committee because we have not constituted the new committees yet. So the Committee on Mines and Energy and Speaker, the chair and ranking of the Committee of Lands and Forestry. This will become the new referral appropriately. Speaker, with your indulgence.
Yes. Honorable Minority Leadership.
Mr. Speaker, I can understand the rationale behind the new proposal to withdraw the initial referral and refer it to a combined committee. Yes, because the new committees, as you may be aware, Mr. Speaker, we are unable to put together all the committees at the same time. We are now working to do that. So it's just to take care of the lapses that may appear, assuming we were to go. I think. So it's a transitional arrangement.
Well, leadership, honorable members, I think on Wednesday I made a referral and I thought I was right. But discussing the matter further with the Speaker is directing that since the new committees have not been inaugurated, I should make the referral to the existing committee. So the referral that was made to Lands and Natural Resources Committee is hereby changed to the original committee, which is now referred to the Mines and Energy Committee, with the inclusion of the chairman and the ranking of the committee department. So they are joining the referral. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I will need some more education with regard to the reversal of the referral that was done last week to the Lands and Forestry Committee. Mr. Speaker, this is because only this morning when this afternoon when we began the sitting, I saw that almost everything about the standing orders was applied to the latter. The new standing orders is what now governs the business of this House. So in the absence of committees to reflect what is contained in the standing orders, one would have thought that business of the House will be suspended, because if we do not have those committees to reflect what we have been doing with the new standing orders, and we are still going to work with the old committees, the question is, when the old committees meet, will they use the new standing orders, use the old standing orders? Mr. Speaker, so this confusion, I think, can be properly addressed if we stay business with the committees and make sure that and give the leadership some time, and maybe they expedite action on constituting the committees, because this reversal of the referral raises the question as to which standing orders are we then dealing with in this House, given the fact that we have been using the new standing orders since this sitting started. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Yes. Leader, I'll come to you. Let me listen to.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand with what Honorable Suhili has brought up. It is important for us to understand whether we are working with the new standing orders or the old standing orders. But from practice and from proceedings, we have been using the new standing orders. It is the reason why lots of things are done here. Roll calls are made, some kind of, recitals are done, and all that and all that. Now, if we are going along with that, and it comes to committee work, and we say we haven't done the committee work yet, I mean, the confusion is very predominant. I think that committees today should act in the interim as if they were working as the new standing orders committee, but they should be interim, rather than the situation where you don't know whether they are acting as new or old. So this is a little confusing in what we are.
Well. Honourable members, please. I took the decision last week. This morning, I've made a meeting on it with the Speaker, and this is the directives of the Speaker, that since the new committees have not been inaugurated, the referral should be made to. And you hope that next week the new committees will be inaugurated so that the committees will take full charge of their referrals. So the ruling has been made. The referral I made has been changed to Mines and Energy Committee with the leadership, chairman and to join that. So that's the ruling I have made. Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, before you rule on the matter, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I think it won't be right for us to withdraw it from the Lands Committee and then refer it subsequently to the Mines and Energy Committee. Mr. Speaker, this is particular because the committee responsible for mines, for lands and natural resources are the ones that are supposed to handle this particular referral. Mr. Speaker, this has to do with the mining of bauxite. It's a natural resource. It's a natural resource. So at best, if for anything at all, you will have to merge these two committees. The lands and forestry, lands and natural resources with the Mines and Energy Committee. So these two committees can do that business. Speaker, one of them cannot do justice to what is before us. Otherwise, Speaker, I would suggest, since we are in the process to finalize the new committees by next week, I suggest you stay on this. Let us bring the new committees and then get the new committees to handle this matter. 1 week will not solve, will not make any difference. So, Mr. Speaker, I strongly suggest that we either it to joint committee or we stay and then allow the new committee to take this matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Speaker, I don't think there is a problem. As for stay of execution, no. Leader, so I will support your latter suggestion that it should be a joint referral both to mines and energy and then lands and forestry, and that is the old committee. So, leader, I'm in support, and let's not proceed further. So, Speaker, that is the consensus from the House. So, joint referral to the two committees.
Well. So, from the leadership, Kwame.
Mr. Speaker, I think better particulars are emerging that suggest that. Mr. Speaker, I have no way of knowing whether surely we are going to be able to put together the committees next week. I believe what minority leader is saying is that even if we are able to put the committees together next week, I mean, staying the decision now till next week wouldn't be bad. Because in any case, the Boxer agreement has been around for some time. So, Mr. Speaker, my position is that let's stay the decision for now and make the referral next week when everything is very clear. Is in place. Mr. Speaker, bringing in the energy committee. What has energy committee got to do with Bauxite agreement? It's absolutely nothing. They don't have anything to do with it.
No, sir. Prior to the new committees, it was mines and energy. So they were handling it. So please let me join the two committees. Let me join the two committees so that they can proceed to work on.
Mr. Speaker, a colleague asked the question: which standing order, which provisions in the standing orders would the joint committee be using? Since we are not using,
there are so many referrals that have been made.
Mr. Speaker, we cannot pretend to be having old committees working with a new standing order, because the new standing order.
I mean, I've sat here and made referral to two committees joined together. Some of them, at times, even three committees. We made them to take a decision on a matter. So I don't think it is out of place. So my ruling is that the referral is made to Lands and Forestry Committee as well as Mines and Energy Committee. They are supposed to take the matter and look into it and refer brought back to Parliament for consideration. So that is my ruling. Yes.
Speaker, may I seek your leave for us to fleetingly vary order of business and rather go on to other commencements of public business, moving on to item 15 on page 14. The National Roads Authority Bill under consideration stage. Speaker, with your leave.
Page 14. I'm coming. Yes, yes, Bamboy.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful. Mr. Speaker, I rise on order 93 to raise a matter of urgent public importance. Mr. Speaker, I just arrived from my constituency this morning, and I can report to you that the people of Volley are living in fears. Between May and June, 3 people lost their lives through serial killing. And this morning, I also I watched Metro TV and also heard that 2 people have been murdered in a very similar manner in Wa. The Minister of Interior last week sent some men and women to Bole to help curb this situation. However, I think that much more is needed to be able to avert the situation. Mr. Speaker, the murderers are targeting watchmen, and so there's a watchman lying, taking care of whatever he's supposed to take care of, and then a stone or a block is used in hitting his head and killing the person instantly. Within this short period, 3 people have been killed. And even before that, there were serial killings taking different forms. And I think that this is a very important matter, and I want to draw your attention to it so that the Interior Minister can come to this House and brief us and give some hope to those areas that are affected. Last night, for instance, Mr. Speaker, I decided to take a walk in the Bole Township, and by 8:30, almost everybody was asleep, self-imposed curfew. We cannot continue in this manner. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to use this platform to appeal to the Minister of Interior to do more. Let me also add that 3 days ago, the former president, who was in Bole, had to also go to the police office to encourage the policemen and women to do their best. But I interacted with them, and they told me that in 2021, the policemen and women were about 7
Just go to work with the hope that they will go home and take care of their kids. The police, since last year, has indicated that there is some investigation going on. But before we even got the results of the investigation, some other killings are happening, or happen again in Bole, and the return to war just happened today, with 2 people killed at a stretch. Mr. Speaker, I think that the police must sit up. And I also think that some further and quality investigations has to happen in this matter. We are worried about the situation. We are worried that lives are lost and not much is done to investigate and bring out the murderers and perpetrators of this crime. And we are calling on the police to be up and doing. This is very basic to my thinking, that if people are killed and they are still in the same vicinity today and no arrest has been made yet, Mr. Speaker, we think that some more has to be done, and that some investigation has to be made to stretch beyond the limits of the people in the community. And the Interior Minister must also sit up. It's becoming too much for him to witness all this and not to tell Ghanaians what is happening. So, Mr. Speaker, apart from asking the police to do something about it, we are asking him to be present here to report to us exactly what has happened and what they will do to address this very dangerous situation. Thank you.
Well. Leadership.
Mr. Speaker, I simply want to re-echo the call that has been made. This continuous killing must stop. And so the call for the Interior Minister to come to this House to brief us is a very urgent one. And I am calling on you to give a date, a specific date next week, to require him to come here and give a statement. Thank you.
Yes, majority leadership.
Speaker, let me also speak in solidarity. For lives to be lost is unacceptable, and our hearts go out there to my dear friend from Bole Bambwe. And so join your nation on the call for the Speaker, for the Minister to apprise the House on happenings. Just not too sure if we can give a date. You know, these are security matters, and often we have to give the Minister notification. Then, before they come to the House, they have to prepare. So I'll leave that discretion to the Speaker. But as soon as possible, I'm in total agreement. I'm saying the same thing. As soon as possible, the Minister should be programmed. But he also needs to be given time to prepare and come brief the House properly. So on that score, we will solidarize with our colleague. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Member for Balbamboy, let me find out, have you personally engaged the Minister for Interior?
Mr. Speaker, the community, the youth on the 9th of June organized a demonstration. And so the regional commander was informed. The regional commander informed the IGP, and the IGP informed the Interior Minister. I also called him a few times. I couldn't reach out to him, and I sent him a message. I wouldn't want to go into that. So what I want to say is that he's aware, and he sent some men and women to the community. But all we want is that he should come around. Once he speaks, it will give some hope to the people, so that this self-imposed curfew that we are experiencing can be addressed. And so that is what I want to put across.
Mr. Speaker, sorry for coming in after my colleague has just spoken. Mr. Speaker, the matter before us is an urgent matter. Mr. Speaker, it has to do with people's life, and the killings is ongoing. We don't know who will be the next person to die, and we don't know when the next killing will happen. Mr. Speaker, it is only right that this matter is dealt with the needed urgency. I will urge that the minister apprise us by tomorrow, latest by Friday. This should not go beyond this week, because, Mr. Speaker, anything at all can happen. And so it's important that is why he's there as the minister responsible for Interior. Let's call him for him to come and apprise us what is accounting for this matter. Mr. Speaker, things that has to do with people's life, we have to take it seriously, and we should urge the ministers to act on it as a matter of urgency. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I don't know whether the minister is in town. I personally went there. I wanted to have some discussion with him, and he wasn't in town. My inclination is probably to employ the member to have a personal discussion with the minister first. Because at times, some of these things, even though it's security matters, there might be certain information that he can discuss with you before even coming to the chamber. So if you will be with me, I will wish that probably you seek personal discussion with the minister first. If that will not do, then we can invite the minister next week to come. So my ruling is that, honorable member, try and get the minister and speak with him this week. If that is not possible, next week we will invite the minister here to come and brief the House.
Mr. Speaker,
that is my ruling.
Mr. Speaker, you asked me, and I told you that I've made some effort to speak to him. And then if I want to go back, this issue of serial killing started somewhere 2017. And I've written to the Minister of Interior on 2 occasions. So I don't want to go back there. I go to the Minister of Interior.
Let's table. Kindly inform the minister to brief the House next week, Wednesday. Next week, Wednesday. Next week, Wednesday. So that is my ruling.
Mr. Speaker, I still want to play with you. We are talking about loss of lives, so they can continue killing people until Wednesday.
Honorable,
and that is why I'm coming.
Honorable Yusuf.
Order 93. It's an emergency issue.
Honorable Yusuf, I've given you the platform. I've given you the platform.
Yes, because I'm talking about the killing of people.
So what I'm saying, my order is that the minister appear before us next week till Wednesday.
We are proposing a Friday, so that they don't kill more people.
I am telling you, I'm just from the minister's office. He's not in town. So what I'm saying is that you, honorable minister, is to appear before us next week, Wednesday. That's my ruling. Yes.
Speaker, shall we then proceed? But just to provide for the record, Speaker, the minister I personally signed his leave of absence. So he's out of jurisdiction. But shall we proceed to item 15? Item 15 on page 14. Speaker, with your leave, we'll revert. Shall we rather go on to page 13? Page 13, item 10.
Yes, honourable members, let me invite you to page 13, item listed 10, presentation and first reading of bills. Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I would like, with your leave, request to withdraw an earlier bill. I rise on that 173 that the National Petroleum Authority bill laid in this House 22nd December 2003 be withdrawn because of technical issues in the committee. Be withdrawn before I can relay this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. This doesn't call for anything. He is withdrawing a bill that has been laid. So, Honorable Minister, your application is granted. Bill accordingly withdrawn, and all the consequential referrals that has been made to the committees have also been withdrawn. Yes. Minister, do you have anything else to say, or you are laying it again? Okay. Yes.
An act to establish the National Petroleum Authority, amend and consolidate the laws relating to the petroleum downstream industry, and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the bill is laid and is presented for the first reading and is considered and referred to the Mines and Energy Committee for consideration and report. Yes, now, Leader, let me come to you.
Speaker, I guess we can now revert to item 15 on page 14. Item 15.
Yes.
Speaker, item 15, page 14.
Honourable members, item 15, page 14, National Rules Authority Bill 2023 at the consideration stage. Honourable Leader, do you have the chairman of the committee here?
Speaker, the chairman is out of jurisdiction, and I will seek your leave for the amendment to be moved by the vice chair, the able vice chair.
Is he still the vice chair?
Yes, he is. We are still in transition. We are in the spirit of transition.
Well. So, we will begin from clause 1.
establishment of the National Roads Authority.
Honourable members, there's no proposed amendment. All those in favour that clause 1 stands part of the bill, say aye. All those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Clause 1 is directed to stand part of the bill. Clause 2.
Objective of the authority.
This bill is a bill that has received a general consensus somehow in the House, and we all want to support it. I just want to draw attention to the Vice Chair and Deputy Majority Whip to take note of something. When we were developing this bill, the definition, we said it's for public roads. I still see in the memorandum they are saying it's a national road for national road network. Mr. Speaker, we took time at the committee to explain that it is better to use public roads because the definition of public roads is every road and street that is under the jurisdiction of an authority under government. But national roads are the trunk light roads that connect cities. So take note, and when we get to interpretation, you might need to introduce a clause to define what public road is, and then we deal with the memorandum to make sure that we don't create a problem for ourselves, because it's fundamental to the bill.
Thank you very much for your. So, Honourable Leader, we move to clause 2. Amendment proposed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Clause 2, amendment proposed. Line 1, after maintain, insert protest, and in line 2, delete Ghana, insert the country. I so move.
Honourable members, there is a proposed amendment by the Vice Chairman. All those in favour? Yes. Ranking.
Mr. Speaker, the Vice Chairman didn't move the amendment well. Clause 2, amendment proposed, line 1, after maintain, insert, comma, protect. That is the correct amendment. Insert, comma, protect. That is the advertised amendment, but not what he said.
Very well. Honourable, there is a correct version of the amendment. So,
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed line 1, after maintain, insert, comma, protect, and in line 2, delete Ghana and insert the country. I so move.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, all those in favour of the proposed amendment say aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment to clause 2 is hereby adopted. Yes.
Speaker, every amendment has a rationale. So in moving the amendment, in order for the House to be carried out, the mover should carry the House out as to the reason why the amendment is being introduced. Then we can really understand him and support or speak against it. Yeah. But he's not telling us the rationale behind the amendment.
Well, Chairman, a member would like to know why we are undertaking this amendment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The rationale behind the amendment proposed is for the purposes of consistencies with other sessions of the bill. Thank you very much.
Very well. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to make a further amendment to clause 2, the object of the authority. My proposal is this.
To clause 2?
Yes, if you give me the opportunity. The object of the authority is to plan, develop, maintain, and manage public road network in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the road, if I have a farm, the road that I cut to my farm, access my farm, is not a public road. when you drive off the main road into an estate, the road network inside the estate is not a public road. It's a private property. That is why you can put a gate and say that only members or people who own property inside the estate can enter. So you need to always distinguish what a public road is. You cannot just say a road network. Public road is different from other roads. So the way you've made it, it means that the road in front of my house, which is my drive, is a public road. But that is not true. The road in front of my drive in my house is not a public road. It's a private road. The threshold is between my property and the public road. So my proposal is to, in line 2, if I take it completely again, the object of the authority is to plan, develop, maintain, and manage public road network in Ghana. Yeah, and then so you delete that, and then insert public road network in Ghana, because that is what the object of the bill is. It's about public roads.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Offa Amwapata will help us.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in principle, what the minority chief whip is saying is correct, because all roads inside estates are also roads, but they don't come within the domain of public roads. So in principle, it's true. But we must also bear in mind that when we say road network under the Roads Authority being managed by Ministry of Roads and Highways is defined. We are talking about highways, roads, which are trunk roads. We are talking about feeder roads, and we are talking also about urban roads. So these three constitute public roads. So it's defined. So it's not really necessary to put public there, because the public roads by law are defined. So they are known, and they exclude roads within the estates. So in principle, yes, you are right that those roads are not part of public roads, but public roads are already defined by law. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minority Whip.
In the bill, public road is not yet defined. That is why I'm saying that the suggestion would be that we define public road when we get to interpretation. Then that covers what he is talking about, because they just define road, and there's no, they just, so somebody can end up saying that the road in their estate is bad. It is a responsibility of the road ministry and the urban road or anything to come and repair it. But that is not the responsibility of the state. That is your private road. You need to deal with it. So we'll define public road when we come to interpretation. We might even take some of the.
So, honorable member, you are in a suggestion. Where do you want us to put this suggestion? Is it two?
Mr. Speaker, I want to throw further light on that. I initially agreed with my colleague, leader at the other side, that in principle what he's saying is correct. But I think what we have to do is to clarify it at the interpretation column. So, Mr. Speaker, I would wish that this is maintained, but we shall correct it and define it explicitly when we come to the interpretation.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, if you go to page 24 of the bill, road has been defined. And in line 1, road means a way or a strip of land open to the public for the purposes of travel as a matter of right. And he continues. So what he is talking about
might not be a road open to the public.
Yes.
So therefore, when you read the rendition and the definition of road, we are not contemplating on what he is talking about, that it is a road which is not a public road, having regard to the definition provided for road at page 24 of the bill. So your fears has been allayed by the definition provided in page 24 of the bill for road.
Mr. Speaker, we are creating a new authority, and we have an opportunity to make it clearer to everybody. Every law I've read about about roads that are under the jurisdiction of the public is called public road. If you want to make it nebulous by saying a road is a road, however, in your definition, it makes, what does it take away from us if we say public road? Because then everybody knows that roads under the jurisdiction of urban roads, highways and feeder roads are what we are talking about. The road leading to your farm is not a public road. But you want to use the definition to make it clear. My view is that you make it clear what a public road is and what other roads are. But if the minister wants to keep it at road generally and say this, and I leave it like that. But if you see other laws, they distinguish between what is a public road and other roads. That is my point. So let it be on the record. At least if I lose the argument, fine. Let it be on the record that I tried advising that you qualify the road as public road because this is a public law, not a law for any other road. Thank you. I'll leave it there, Mr. Speaker.
Well, honorable members, the question is all those in favor that clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill. Now we move to clause 3.
Functions of the authority.
Yes. Now the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed. Open phrase, comma, delete objects and insert objects. Mr. Speaker, the amendment proposed, the rationale behind the bill is that the bill pertaining to issues about Ghana, and hence there is no need to mention Ghana rather than in the country. So,
I didn't get you.
Mr. Speaker, the amendment proposed, that's the open phrase, objects, delete objects, and insert objects.
Honorable member, address me. Address the chair. Have you finished? I just wanted to know the rationale behind the proposed amendment. Yes. Honorable Hiafo.
Mr. Speaker, is because objects is plural, but we draft in singular. That's why it must be object.
Well. So, honorable members, all those in favor of the proposed amendment listed in today's item, today's paper as I, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment to clause 3, I, is adopted. We move the same clause 3, I. Proposed amendment, clause 3, I.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed, paragraph J, comma, after 2, insert subsection 2 of. So move.
Honorable members, the question is all those in favor of the proposed amendment, say aye. Honorable members, I put the question again. All those in favor of the proposed amendment, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment to clause 3, I, is carried. We turn to Cross 3 IV. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed. Add the following new paragraph after paragraph I. Has correct tolls and pay into the road fund. Mr. Speaker, I move.
Honorable members, Clause 3 IV, there's a proposed amendment. All those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Yes. Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, this particular amendment doesn't sit well with the policy of government. As we speak, the road toll regime in this country has been suspended or cancelled. Why is the government wasting our time to be making any law regarding road toll? There has to be a major announcement by government about road tolls to justify mentioning any road toll thing in any law in this house. Otherwise, you are using or you are abusing members of parliament's time. When you say there's no road toll in Ghana, then you come and bring a law talking about road toll. What are you going to do with the law when it's passed? Don't waste our time. Go back and bring a policy to declare whether you are in favor of reintroduction of road toll. Mr. Speaker, this one, we might even end up doing a head count. Otherwise, let them suspend this particular clause. Otherwise, we'll put for a head count on this one. And let the House to make a policy decision about road toll. This one, we are going to be opposed to it, and even take it to a head count, if possible. Our advice is put an ice on this particular clause. Let's go when we are able to have...
Well.
Yes.
Yes, Honorable Hiafo.
Mr. Speaker, it is trial learning that will make laws to back government policy. As we speak, the policy of the government is no road tolls. Mr. Speaker, I have looked at the memorandum accompanying the bill. Nowhere is it stated that the law is to make provision for tolls to be collected. Therefore, the committee on its own cannot be introducing that the clause 3 that to collect tolls and pay into the road funds. Mr. Speaker, this is wrong. Therefore, I urge upon the chairman of the committee to drop the amendment.
Honorable members, yes.
Speaker, our side is a listening majority. And hence, Speaker, we will...
Honorable Kando, please.
Speaker, we put eyes on it. We put eyes on that particular amendment and proceed. The minister was here in the morning, and ranking Chief will bear me out. I'm sure when he returns, he will give a better explanation. So let's put eyes on it to the other amendment, Chairman.
Okay.
Well. Thank you very much. So, honorable members, clause 3 IV, we are hold on with that. We've done with clause 3 I, we are hold on with IV. So let's move to clause 4. Vice Chairman. Yes.
Somebody's my good friend, the Deputy Majority Whip. 3M. Carry out comprehensive, continuous program of development of professional staff and appropriate skills training for non-professional staff. Isn't it the case that we are just creating an apex body to control urban roads, highways, and feeder roads. If that is the case, the personnel you are going to manage already exists and go through this professional development under their respective entities already. Exactly what training and capacity building are you going to do for the apex body? Because as far as we saw the organogram, when we saw the organogram, you are just creating one position more or less and few people, which already come from the entity, the agencies under your purview currently. Are you intending to create a structure that ignores the existing urban road, highways, and feeder roads? Because it's a concern to staff already that the creation of this would basically make them redundant. And I support you. That is not the case. That is not what we are creating. So make it clear to us exactly what you intend to do with 3M. Mr. Speaker, the challenge is that the minister who shepherded this all along is in the House. They have been disabled from actually leading this because he's no longer the substantive minister. But he's still a member of parliament, so you can help us with exactly.
Yes. Over.
Mr. Speaker, Kwame has worked with us at the road sector, and he understands every bit of the road sector. That's why he stated that he supports us in all this, and he knows what the position is. Mr. Speaker, we are not creating an apex position, to, as it were, have all the functions, at the top. No. All that we want to avoid is duplication. In fact, that is the very core of this authority. Mr. Speaker, we have three main functions under the road sector. The highways, as an agency, the feeder roads, and the urban roads. And they all function separately. But at the end of the day, we are talking about one indivisible infrastructure, the road network. So duplication of functions brings in a lot of negativities. So in order to make the ministry very efficient and to save costs, we want to avoid duplication, and we agreed on that. So the essence of this is to avoid duplication, so that all functions will be unified, and run through it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well, honorable members. Let's now turn to clause 4. Clause 4. Yes, Vice Chairman.
Governing body of the authority.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed, subclause I, paragraph D, add the following new sub-paragraph. It's what it's not road to. Don't read it. Yeah. Is it road to?
Yes.
4 is not road to. Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed, subclause I, paragraph D, add the following new sub-paragraphs. II, Ghana Hydrological Authority, Land Use and Smart Planning Authority, and amendment proposed.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes, Speaker, I was trying to convince my very good friend to take a cue from his boss. His boss' position is that the minister himself will come sometime tomorrow or later to help us address the issue of the tolls, because the proposal is making is to the effect that we'll be collecting tolls and paying to a particular account. Since we are saying that everything related to toll today, let's leave it for the minister to address when he comes back tomorrow. We can jump this one and go to the next one so that we don't belabor the point. Yes. Yes, it's also a toll. Read it. It says that. Are you doing 4 now? Oh, so you jumped the 3rd. Okay, that's fine, Mr. Speaker. I'm wrong, Mr. Speaker. I take a cue from.
Yes.
Have we done the V? We haven't done the V. We are moving to VI.
Which B?
4V.
Cross 4. We haven't done V. So without V, we cannot move to V.
Cross 3.
Cross 4.
Yeah, cross 4. We are doing the first one.
We are not doing V. Okay. So do the V.
Yes.
Yeah, I know my colleague is very passionate and he's also a professional, but he was trying to mislead us. The Honorable Chief Whip, in this context, you were trying to mislead us. The Honorable Vice Chairman was moving a very important amendment. Meanwhile, your mind is on road 2. His entire mindset is on road 2. So let him be guided accordingly. And he should move step by step.
Honorable Minority Whip, your colleague is asking you to be guided and move step by step. Yes,
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Clause 4, amendment proposed, subclause I, paragraph D, subparagraph II, line 1, delete institute and insert institution in line 2, and add and line 3, delete Ghana Institute of Engineering and insert institution. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I support the amendment, but just to tidy it up. Mr. Speaker, the new rendition would then be the Ghana Institution of Engineering nominated by the governing body of institution. But before the institution, you have to insert the institution so that it will have been referring to the Ghana Institution of Engineering. So there is missing. Yes.
So is it a further amendment or?
Further amendment has been changed. So, Mr. Speaker, the new rendition will be the Ghana Institution of Engineering nominated by the governing body of the institution.
Very well. So, Honorable Makota, let him, in the engineers here, let him be guided. Is it Ghana Institution of Engineering or Ghana Institution of Engineers?
Mr. Speaker, there is no argument about that, Mr. Listen, it's a professional body, and it's known as Ghana Institution of Engineering. So it's a professional name, a professional body, and nothing can be done about it. That is why it's being corrected here. It's not an institute of engineers. The proper description of that professional group is Institution of Engineering.
Engineer, is that the professional name?
Mr. Speaker, it is correct.
It's correct.
Ghana Institution of Engineering.
Of Engineering, okay. So, honorable members, the question is all those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment to clause 4V is carried. Now clause 4VI. Chairman.
The Speaker, amendment proposed subclause I, paragraph D, add the following new subparagraphs II, Ghana Hydrological Authority, Land Use and Space Planning Authority, and I so move.
Yes, Honorable Hiafo.
Mr. Speaker, what is the reason for the addition?
Chairman.
Can I talk?
No.
A member is asking to give us the reason behind the amendment. Chairman, address the chair, please.
Mr. Speaker, VII clause 4, amendment proposed sub-clause I, paragraph, that's VI. That's sub-clause I, paragraph D. Add the following new sub-paragraphs: II, Ghana Hydrological Authority, and IV, that is two amendment proposed, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Hereford.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Mr. Speaker, we are talking about governing body of the institute.
Okay.
And it's realized that the hydrological Ghana Hydrology and Land Use and Special Planning Authority also have a role to play when it comes to road network in Ghana. Therefore, there is a need for them to be represented on the governing body. And that is the rationale behind the addition of the two.
Well. Yes, engineer.
Mr. Speaker, what my colleague just said is correct. Because in dealing with roads, everybody knows, or if he doesn't know, I'm saying that one of the worst enemies of roads is water. When water gets into the road pavement, it cracks. And the flooding which occurs in Accra, part of it is due to the lack of adequate capacity. And that capacity comes from the gutters into the main drains and into the Odo River. So in order to get everything tying up correctly, it is good to have the Hydrological Services Division Authority on the board so that when they are looking at things, it becomes a holistic approach. Then on the other hand, the Special and Land Use Authority deals with the planning of the whole city, and therefore the part that refers to feeder roads, urban roads, Mr. Speaker, is governed by this land use and special.
Why only urban roads? Even feeder roads, because even in the communities, the local communities are all planned.
Yeah, so all those ones will make a contribution on the governing body, so that's in place. So having the two other authorities on the governing body is in the right direction.
Very well. Thank you very much. So, Honorable members, the question is, all those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye.
Aye.
All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. Now we move to VII, clause 4. Amendment proposed. Vice Chairman.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed, subclause I, paragraph E, lines 1 and 2. Delete two of whom are women and insert nominated by the minister. I so move.
Yes, honorable members, there's a proposed amendment to clause 4 again. All those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Honorable members, if you are here and respond. So I'll put the question again. All those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. Very well. The proposed amendment is carried. Yes, Speaker, Honorable Dafiamapo.
Yes, Speaker. I have a further proposed amendment to this provision. There's no definition for the expression road user.
Come again?
Road user. The phrase road user as used in that clause is not defined by the statute.
So why don't we take it to interpretation?
It's not there.
So when you get there, then we can bring that in to cover.
Speaker, because it's not defined, we don't even know how the minister will be nominating the two road users.
So what do you propose? Minister, Honorable Amakwata, are you listening to him?
It's not his way.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Yes, it has not been defined.
Speaker, for the records, did you just refer to as the minister? That's for the records.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what Honorable Dr. Abepo is saying is also quite true. It has not been defined. And it's important that we define it because the minister is supposed to make a nomination to that effect. So it has to be noted and then defined at the interpretation column. So it will be defined.
Yes.
Speaker, I'm comforted by the fact that it will be defined when we get to the interpretation.
Yes. So it will, yes. Thank you very much. So we move to Honorable Carlos, do you want to say something?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to remind my colleague that we're taking this step by step, and certainly we'll get the definition column. If we get there and that is not defined, you don't find anything there, then you can bring it in and ask for the definition. But if you put the cart before the horse, then you'll be jumping the gun. I don't think that is what you want to do.
Anyway, the former minister who shepherded the bill says we are going to define it.
Exactly. So have patience. You are a very patient man, I know. Have patience. I'm sure that all your worries will be covered under this bill. So don't have patience.
Honorable Dr. is very right. If we don't raise it here, chances are that we may basically just go away without defining it. So let rather my very good friend be aware that when we want to define something in the efforts to pay attention to it in the body of the law. In fact, before you came into the chamber, we have actually identified another one which we are going to define when we get there. So sit in a below the trend and you realize why Honorable Dakwameko is very right in what he's doing. In fact, you should relax.
Well. So we take VIII, cross 4, Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Hold on, Honorable Tete.
Mr. Speaker, I know it's been deferred, but in this House, when it comes to composition of governing bodies, we reserve a number for women. I'm surprised. The gender activists, including myself, are here. And to support amendment that will take away at least 2 of whom are women, Mr. Speaker, I will have a problem with it. So
the affirmative law will take care of it.
The affirmative action bill is coming. So we need to behave as such in making our laws. And Mr. Speaker, for sake of consistency, even if it is 3, we say 2 of whom are women. But here, unfortunately, the chairman is proposing that we rather delete that crucial aspect of the provision. I want to know why. Yes, that is why it's saying, the E is saying 3 other persons. So it should be 3 other persons, one of whom is a road user and 2 of whom are women. So the are women nominated by so and so. But to delete 2 of whom are women.
Honorable member, if if I remember some conversation I've had with you, you appear not to be even in favor of laws that are specifically mentioning women, right? Because you think women have the capacity to stand by their own might. So even the affirmative law, you have had some discussion with me. So I don't see how you are turning around this particular area. Yes, let me hear you. I'll come back to you.
Mr. Speaker, as a student of drafting, I so much believe in consistency. So if it is the case that this House henceforth will depart from that leg of legislation, then we need to clearly spell it out that henceforth will not make law to create a position purposely for women. But if every law we make provision for it, then it means this one we must again make provision for it.
Yeah, let me go to Honorable Yariga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you will know that so much effort is being made to recognize our women and give them equal opportunities. We know that women are as good as men. In fact, in a lot of cases, they are even better. But stereotypes, history, and so much has informed a society where, in most cases, women are left out. Just look at this chamber and look at the number of men in relation to women. That is the basis for the call for affirmative action. If it has been our practice to affirm the role of women by giving them a slot, and the bill was brought and introduced in this House with specific provision for women to be recognized and given slots, if the committee or anybody proposes to take out women, then they must give us very, very good reasons. Very, very good reasons why we must take out the women and then make it gender neutral. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to hear from the chairman what has informed the decision to take out the women. Mr. Speaker, I don't expect that the deputy leader on the other side will be sitting there and allow a proposal to take out women.
Chairman of the Gender Committee.
Yes, Honorable Tete, at least.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'll yield to my colleagues and maintain the truth. Thank you very much.
You are yielding to? So we have to restore it. Okay, very well. So if you restore it, it means the amendment will be moot. Is that the case? So give me the rendition.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, so the original one stand, that's 3 other persons, the amendment proposed is rather, Mr. Speaker, subclause 1, paragraph E, line 1 and 2, delete and 2 of whom are women and insert nominated by the minister. So we take that amendment.
Very well. So, yes. Yes, the new rendition.
The original one said 1.
Just because the new rendition will be 3 other persons, one of whom is a road user, and 2 of whom are women nominated by the minister.
That will be the new rendition.
Very well. So, yes, engineer.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the original we wanted to modify was with all that, but nominated by the president, not the minister. So the rendition would be
This one is a minister.
Nominated by the minister.
Yes.
Oh, but at the committee, it was the president.
No.
Okay.
So you're okay. So now the question is, all those in favor of the proposed amendment to clause 4, listed in today's paper as VIII, all those in favor say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. Let me now put the entire clause 4. Yes.
In this law, the governing body talks about almost everybody who should be here, including road users, which I think is a good thing. Road contractors are not here. Is there a reason why a representative of Ghana Road Contractors Association shouldn't be on this governing board? No. I have friends who are there. I think at least a representative of Association of Road Contractors should be. Well, they can. They can. There's a Ghana Bar Association of Business. So I think, Chairman, if you can consider.
Honorable Makata, I don't know whether.
Yeah. So you want to? Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, when it comes to road network, the contractors are initially not involved. It is only when everything is done that it gets to the award of the contract that they would come to play. By that time, the governing body has done everything. So, for me, it doesn't matter whether the contractors are part of the governing body or not. Because before it will get to their level, every preparatory work has been done. It is when it comes to the awarding the contract or bidding for the contract, at the time that everything has been done, that they come into it. So,
Honorable Ahiafo,
yes.
Personally, I'm inclined to go with him because the quality of the road network, if we are going to have a governing body and those people who are actually going to undertake the road constructions, if we are going to have at least a representative from their group, I think it is something that we have to look at. I think it's something we must look at. Yes, let me listen to engineer. He is a civil engineer, so he can tell us something.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. This is an apex body to determine policy and so on. And therefore, if you have a contractor, the contractor is being represented. It amounts to something like inside information, inside trading. So I think they should be out of it when the decisions are being taken. Right. Then after that, they can be consulted, but they should not be on the board, Mr. Speaker.
Well. Yes, Honorable Kabradonko.
Mr. Speaker, from a policy perspective, I disagree. Contractors are stakeholders, just like engineers are. Yes. Are there no engineers who are consultants, who play consultancy role? Engineers also play consultancy role. There are other professionals who play consultancy role within the sector. And therefore, contractors must not be discriminated against. There are laws about conflict of interest. If you attend a board meeting and you have an interest, you are required by law to declare your interest and to recuse yourself. Those laws are there. So contractors are key stakeholders, and they should also be on the governing board. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let me.
With what he has just said, that you disclose your interest. Is there any road contractor that will not be interested in construction of roads?
Oh yeah, I mean, yes, Honorable Jaffe Amapo.
Speaker,
Yes.
If you read clause 2 of the bill, which has been adopted as to form part of the bill, it says the object of the authority is to plan, develop, maintain, and manage the road network in Ghana. Now, the minority chief whip is saying, for the sake of policy considerations, a representative of the Road Contractors Association of the country should be represented, so that in designing, in maintenance, they can partake in policy decisions. And I think that is germane. Why? Even the Judicial Council, the Ghana Bar Association, is represented on the Judicial Council. The Ghana Bar Association, again, is represented on the General Legal Council. It's for policy considerations. So it's in consonance with how this House enacts such provisions, which is replete in a lot of our laws. So I believe that there's some wisdom in what Chief is saying. So the sponsors of the bill can ask the drafters to craft a provision so that we take care of it. So that during such a consideration it can be taken. So we can make progress. But
lastly, let me take from...
I support the call that they should be represented.
Lastly, let me take from Honorable Atamils.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The last clause that we approved, it says they will be nominated by the minister. Those 3 other persons, one of whom is a road user, and 2 of whom are women, will be nominated by the minister. But it doesn't look consistent with the clause that we are working on. Because if you go to the next clause, 4.2, it says the president shall, in accordance with Article 70 of the Constitution, appoint the chairperson and other members of the board. No. But when is a chairman, when is a president appointing them, when is a minister? Oh, are you the speaker now? Please go and sit there.
Mr. Speaker, the governing board of the National Road Authority is not an entity tender committee. How do you call it? A tender board. They don't award contract. And actually, Mr. Speaker, one of the funds that pay contractors in this country is road fund. Guess what? When we write the law, a road contractor and a member of the Ghana Road Contractors Association is represented on road fund board, the fund that actually pays them. So he knows who gets paid, who doesn't get paid. That is not considered as a conflict of interest. So this one, this authority doesn't even talk about award. If it will talk about award of contract, it will talk about the policy. So, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important for the minister to consider. We might say that we leave it for the minister to make that decision when he comes tomorrow, because I don't think the chairman should be able to make that decision. It's something the minister should make. So we can flag it, and when he comes tomorrow. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. So, Honorable former minister and the team, please, let's take a look at it. So let me now put clause 4 as variously amended. All those in favor that clause 4 as variously amended stands part of the bill, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Clause 4 as variously amended stands part of the bill. Honorable Dafiamapo, it's okay, it's okay.
It's very important, and we have litigated this matter in other provisions. If we consider 4.3, that we always qualify the expertise, not merely expertise. It should be relevant expertise.
It should be what?
Relevant expertise. Relevant expertise. You may be an engineer, but that is not the kind of expertise we are looking for. You will have to be a road engineer. You know, yes. In a lot of professions, you are a medical doctor. But what is your relevant expertise? Is it not in dentistry? It is in dentistry. You are not a gynecologist.
Well.
Okay. So you are not a gynecologist.
So the draft men and women, draft men and, or rather draft man and women. Take note of it. So in drafting, let's try to address that particular.
Mr. Speaker, this one, the way it is crafted, we don't need the word relevant to it.
Well.
Because it is saying, Mr. Speaker, if I may read, the president shall be making the appointment under paragraph A and E of subsection 1 have regard to the expertise and experience of the person in matters relating to the functions of the authority. In matters relating to the functions of the
it's
authority.
Already catered
so
for.
that has taken care of.
So we would take the last clause, clause 5. Clause 5.
Functions of the board.
Yes. Vice Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, clause 5, amendment proposed, sub-clause 2, lines 2 and 3, delates the funding for which exceed a specific threshold determined by the minister. I so move.
Yes. The Vice Chairman has made the proposed amendment. I will then put the question of the proposed amendment to clause 5. Say aye.
Mr. Speaker, I am totally opposed to the entire clause 5. This is an attempt to create another Kwango. We have road fund in Ghana. What is the point of creating another thing called the Ghana Road Fund, Road Development Fund? Yes, if you look at this and that, one of the things under the 5, according to your own, the functions, because the functions of the board, if you read, yes, approve contract and agreement entered into by the authority, manage the road infrastructure development fund. I am saying that this particular one, it is totally not necessary. We have Ghana Road Infrastructure Fund. Go and use whatever you want to do with the Road Infrastructure Fund. I agree that the way the road, road fund is currently doesn't work, because you put Ghanaians pay money through various means to the road fund, and then the finance minister sits on it and decide as and when to release that money to the road minister. That is the beginning and the end of the problem, Mr. Speaker. So we should rather go and amend the road fund and make it workable. Don't go and create another fund, labeling it a road fund.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with Minority Chief Whip.
So are we hold on with that?
Yeah, we delete that session. That's manage the road infrastructure and development fund. We delete that one from there.
I'm not getting you. Are you doing away with the amendment? So give me the new rendition that will cater for.
Move his amendment, then I'll do the deletion of one of the items under 5.
Well. So you just moved amendment.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Amendment proposed sub-clause 2, lines 2 and 3. Delete the funding for which exceed a specific threshold determined by the minister.
Well, Honorable Member, there is a proposed amendment. Do I put the question? Well. All those in favor of the proposed amendment to clause 5, listed IX. All those in favor say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. Yes. Honorable Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed. Clause 5. E, delete.
Come again.
Speaker, the whip is proposing that clause 5B, subclause E, should be deleted. And I think it makes sense. It makes sense.
So we are deleting it entirely.
If it
Well, honorable members,
so it should be.
there is a proposed amendment to delete clause 5 ye. All those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. Yes, engineer.
The E is okay, but I think the sub-clause 2, the board shall obtain prior approval for in writing of the minister for a road contract. It means for all road contracts, the minister will have to give prior approval. I don't think that is very workable. I don't think it's very workable. Because normally, according to the registration of contractors, if you have A, B, and so on, there's always the range in which all road contracts are. And if for everything you have to go to the minister, it becomes clumsy. And I think it will be very difficult.
So what do you suggest?
It's not everything that should go to the minister. And possibly the board should be able to work on its own and present the results to the minister.
But the minister is responsible for the policy. So,
yes, but he's responsible for the policy, but not the operations.
I think there is a mischief.
Yeah, let me come to Honorable Kabadonko.
Mr. Speaker, in a number of these regulatory and semi-regulatory bodies, they are only responsible to the minister in terms of policy. In terms of policy. So if the minister has to approve every road contract, are we saying the minister is micromanaging the entity? I don't think that is the mindset. I believe the board or the governing board should be responsible to the minister for policy. That is clear. But in terms of operations, then there will be no need for a board if the minister is also responsible for operations. So, Mr. Speaker, I suggest that we drop that prior approval clause so that the board held responsible for operations. Thank you.
Speaker.
Hold on, leader. Let me go here before I come to you. Yes.
Speaker, thank you. Speaker, it appears there's a certain policy considerations underpinning this provision. But if you read it, it's not coming out. Are we going to, is the minister going to use regulation to determine these respective thresholds? We need to know. Because if he has the power to determine the threshold, as a result of which we are giving him this power to approve by consent, then we need to be very clear in crafting this provision. We need to be very clear that it will be by regulation, so that he will determine the various scales in the regulation, or a schedule to be annexed to the legislation.
Okay.
That when the threshold is, say, 100 million Ghana cedis, he will do that. 200 million, he will do that. We need to fashion that into the provision. And then a very small amendment. And so in writing of the minister should be in writing from the minister. It's a consent. The board shall obtain pro approval in writing from the minister for roads.
From?
Yes.
Okay, the preposition. So, excuse me, let me go to Honorable Makwata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at particular time, the minister is representing the government, and government runs a budget. So, in awarding contracts, you don't just award contracts anyhow. You must look at the budget. Yes, you must look at the budget that you have. So, Mr. Speaker, if you read further, it's 2, surplus 2 is relating to contract funding for which the amount exceeds a specified threshold. And it's the minister who will know where the funding is coming from. So, minister, reducing it into writing and giving, prior approval to the board is to advise the board that yes, it's above the threshold, but funding could be obtained from source A or B or C. So it's important, and it's the minister at any particular time who is representing government. And I mean, award of contracts cannot be done, anyhow, unless you can pinpoint source of funding.
Let me finish with Dafia Kwapon then.
Speaker, I agree with the former rules minister. That is why my concern is we should indicate that threshold, the minister will come by regulation to state it, or the proposers of the bill will fashion out a schedule to indicate that threshold, a scale of that threshold attached to the legislation. Speaker, I can appreciate why we want to enact a legislation over this, because we have a situation where the Ministry of Finance, for instance, has come into some funds and is disbursing directly and paying contractors without recourse to the Ministry of Roads, which creates policy problems. So I appreciate why we want to streamline this by legislation. But in doing so, in addressing one problem, we must be careful we don't create another. Because we are asking the minister that he will give prior approval. He will determine the threshold. But the legislation, the provision is silent on how he will make that determination. So we must be careful that we fix him in the legislation that he must determine the threshold to our knowledge, which must be very clear in the law. I thank you.
But it will be the same thing. I mean, a bill will eventually, metamorphose into an act. And if we subsequently come with an airline, the airline is only coming to operationalize the act. Yeah. Yes, it comes to operationalize the act. So it could be mentioned there in the act. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, in life, you call a spade, but not a long spoon. There is a mischief that this amendment is seeking to cure. Mr. Speaker, the mischief is that many a time, if the governing body is given a threshold, let's say the cost not exceeding 50 million, if it is 100 million, they will find a way of dividing it into two and awarding it within their threshold, and then the minister responsible for rules might not be aware. He will just be there as a figurehead. As a result, they've taken a decision that the issue of treasury should be no more. Everything must be approved by the minister. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the rendition in 2, it's saying that the board shall obtain prior approval in writing of the minister for a road contract. Full stop. The funding of which exceeds a specified threshold determined by the minister is no more, so that you wouldn't say that the funding is below a threshold. Therefore, you don't need the approval of the minister. And the minister will sit down there as a minister for road, and the board will split 1 million contracts into within their thresholds and award it. And if you add it together, it's above their threshold. So that is what we are seeking to prevent by way of causing this particular amendment to be made. So I support the amendment proposed by the chairman of the committee, and I urge the House to support the amendment. What is approval? Is it difficult to get the approval of the minister to have a contract awarded? I don't think it's a difficulty.
Well. Yes, Honorable Yalaga.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you listen to the arguments, one issue stands out. This bill that we are proposing, are we seeking to establish an authority to become responsible for awarding road contracts?
No.
Because if you read the functions of the board from 5.1 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you get a sense that the authority will be responsible for the award of road contracts. And then in 5.2, you are seeking to use the minister to regulate the award of the contracts by devising a mechanism where you have a capping. If it's below that cap, they can award. Otherwise, who? Is it the minister? Do we have a substantive provision in this bill where if it exceeds the said cap, it is the minister that will be responsible for awarding the contract? And again, Mr. Speaker, the problem with providing a figure is that with inflation, you can today say, oh, if it doesn't exceed 1 million, like somebody is proposing, let's have the minister make regulations. And he brings a regulation and says, if it is below 1 million, within the same year, prices, inflation will shoot up, and the same road contract that at the time that you were passing this legislation would cost 1 million, now cost 3 million. And if you have 500 of those roads across the country to be awarded, you are supposed to chase the minister every single day to approve all these roads. That is why the implementers will then find an innovative mechanism where they will split the road into 3 or 4, just so that it will fall within the ambit of their limit, and then they can award it, and then work can move. Because you can't keep chasing the minister for every single piece of road for approval. So let's look at what has informed this proposal and understand it so that we can craft something that is workable. If the idea is that the authority of ministers is being undermined, then we know how to craft it in such a way that we protect the authority of ministers. But if we're also concerned about how to administer the sector in an efficient manner and then give leverage to the authority to be able to deal with the issue of award of contracts so that things can move fast, then let's also look at how we can craft it. So, former minister, you have overseen the sector for a long time. What really do you think is the problem? And then can you guide this House to be able to frame the thing properly so that it is workable?
Mr. Speaker, I think colleagues clearly understood what we are trying to do. The cure to what Honorable Dapamepo is saying is in clause 57F. 57F. the determination of threshold under subsection 2 of 5. So it says clearly that the minister will be coming to the House with regulations. So that is taken care of. Of course, they don't need to put the threshold here. All they need to do is to make provision that there will be a threshold. I agree with you that when things change and the inflation eats up the money, of course, they need to come back to the House to create this. But this is very important. Mr. Speaker, I sat in meetings with the minister, and when he makes a presentation, for instance, 2024 budget appropriation is about 260 billion. You know the amount of projects awarded under his ministry, about 100 billion. And majority of that, he has no clue how it adds up. Highways bring their figures, feeder road bring their figures, and everybody is awarding. Then everybody says that government owes contractors, let's say 13 billion at a particular time. Then in the budget, you and I approve 2 billion for the entire year. Yeah, then we call the minister here and ask him, when will my road project be finished? It's as if we don't know we approved 2 billion for 12 billion a price tag of a road project. This particular legislation is intended to stop that. If the finance minister allocates 5 billion to the road ministry, the road ministry minister will be hauled here to justify how he spent that billion. The only way he can justify the expenditure of that 5 billion is for him to be aware of what is going on under all the agencies. Otherwise, we put his name on on something and somebody else spends the money. But the point they are making is that if you create a threshold and say that, and you don't put any caveat on it, what agencies will do is that you said if the project is about 5 million, we can the director of highways can award it. Of course, they do it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Meanwhile, they say it's one project. So they award phase 1 this month. When the contractor moves to site, they award phase 2 to him, and he asks up to 20 million. Meanwhile, his threshold is what? 5 million. So, Mr. Speaker, this law will cure that. And it's a critical part of the law. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Mr. Speaker, that is why I want to recommend that colleagues support the amendment proposed by the Vice Chairman and the Deputy Whip. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Honourable members, I think what do you want to say?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from the explanation, we seem to have a problem of budgeting, and we want to cure a budgeting problem by legislation. Which organization can go outside this budget? So if we have a fundamental budgeting problem, budget goes with control, budget goes with implementation. If Feeder Roads has a budget of 15 million, under no circumstances can Feeder Road exceed their budget without going through the relevant minister to Ministry of Finance and this House. So I'm surprised we say that really this is to cure the situation of departments and agencies going beyond the budget. Then we have a more fundamental problem that we need to address. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, honourable members, I think I'll put clause 5 as variously amended. Those in favour that clause 5 as variously amended stands part of the bill, say aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Clause 5 as variously amended stands part of the bill. Are we bringing curtains down, or we are doing one more? Okay, we are doing clause 6, and afterwards we bring the curtains down. Clause 6, yes, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, clause 6, amendment proposed, add the following new sub-clause 5. A member of the board who refuses or fails to pay a fine imposed on the member under subsection 4 ceases to be a member of the board. I so move.
Yes. Honourable members, the Vice Chairman has moved an amendment to clause 6. I'll put the question, and all those in favour of the proposed amendment to clause 6 say aye. All those against say no. Honorable Member, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. And the question is, all those in favor that clause 6 as amended stands part of the bill, say aye. All those against, say no.
The Speaker, humbly, the present amendment being carried is to the effect that a member of the board who refuses or fails to pay a fine imposed on the member under subsection 4 ceases to be a member of the board. Now, there has to be a certain time frame. When a fine is imposed on you under subsection 4, how long do you have to make that payment, in lieu of which you will be forfeiting membership of the board? It has to be clear. Is it the case that when the fine is imposed, you have to pay immediately, and failure of which you forfeit membership of the board? So we need to indicate some time frame within which, when you suffer an imposition of a penalty or a fine, and you fail or you refuse to pay, you forfeit membership of the board. That's good. I think that we need to make that clear in the provision.
Well, Chairman, do you have?
You see, we've done this in other sister legislations, so it can be immediate, because you see, it's an administrative fine. It's an imposition of a fine. When it happens,
so what do you suggest?
I suggest that you may be given 7 days within which to pay. 7 days. Administrative fine, within 7 days you pay. If you fail to pay, you forfeit.
So is it going to be a different proposed amendment?
No. It should be, this provision should be enhanced.
But
to accommodate
normally, when we put the question and you allow the question to be adopted or carried, then when you come back like that.
Speaker, well.
Yes. So 7 days. So you let me deal with the firm of office. So what rendition do you suggest?
So a member of the board who refuses or fails to pay a fine imposed on the member under subsection 4 ceases to be a member of the board 7 days after failure to pay.
Well, that is the further proposed amendment.
Oh, you can.
That is further proposed amendment.
No, Mr. Speaker, this is not an administrative fund. This is a legal fund, so the court will determine. So this is not an administrative fund. So the proposed amendment should stand.
I am aware that, I know that we speak of an administrative fine, but there are circumstances where the board member who is the subject of the fine may not be immediately available, or even within the jurisdiction, but he has suffered a penalty. So I think that being an administrative fine, you should be given the opportunity to pay that within a certain time frame. We can even say 48 hours. We can limit it. But all I'm saying is that we cannot by legislation say that when you suffer an imposition of fine and you fail or refuse to pay, the refusal must be calculable within a certain time frame. Because refusal, you are imputing improper motive. The person knows that he has refused to pay. That must be calculated within a certain time frame. That he was given 24 hours to pay and he refused to pay. Because the refusal, you can't say that the refusal was immediate. And so immediately he must suffer a forfeiture of membership. Right. I think that we should look at this. It can be 24 hours. It can be a time that is reasonable.
Yes, Honorable Anmedu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would want to draw my friend's attention that leadership had drawn his attention that this is not administrative. And I would want to agree with them, because if you go to the next section, section 5, next subsection says, where a court determines that the authority has suffered a loss or damage as a consequence of the act or omission of a member of the board, the court may, in addition to the imposition of a fine, order the member convicted to pay appropriate compensation to the authority. So, the contemplation of this fine, everything there, the proposal is that the court would have to impose this fine. And we cannot give the time frame to the court. The court must have the privilege of telling the person that pay a fine within 24 hours or 1 week or 2 weeks. Once we have the court in contemplation, let's leave that to the courts. Thank you.
Speaker, there's no contemplation of courts in 4. The court comes in 5. So you see, it means that there's even a judicial process that will be triggered in 5. So we cannot be contemplating immediate loss of membership when 4 is not complied with. If your explanation is with all due respect accurate. It's the board.
In 4, we are talking about summary conviction. So it's liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 100 penalty units and not more than 250 penalty units. So we are contemplating the court imposing a fine. And the court imposing a fine, the court can state that pay the fine now, or I give you 2 weeks or whatever, and then the execution will take place. So it's the court we have in mind, not any other body. If it is administrative, we could go around it. But this, we have the court in contemplation to grant a summary conviction and to grant a fine. So it is enough that we leave it to the court. Thank you.
So, honorable members.
Mr. Speaker, I have my own view about this provision, but I think I raised it and I was defeated. This is because why are we giving an option to pay a fine and continue to be a member of the board? When in conflict of interest, I attend a meeting, immediately I cease to be a member. So immediately you are found guilty and a fine is imposed on you, automatically you don't belong to the board. You understand? Mr. Speaker, I have committed a wrongdoing. I have committed a wrongdoing which was established against me. But they are giving me an option to pay money and continue to be a member of the same board? No. When I am in conflict of interest, I cease to be a member. But when I commit a crime and found guilty, I pay a fine and I continue to be a member of the board.
So, honorable members, fine, we've gotten you. So, how should the amendment?
The proposed amendment should, for me, it should be deleted in its entirety to say that when you are found guilty and a fine is imposed on you, whether you pay or not, you cease to be a member of the board. You forfeit a membership. Once you violate any of the provisions in 5(2), in 5(2), from A to F, you must cease to be a member of the board. And there is a vacancy created for which the minister should inform the appointing authority.
Yes, leader. Honourable former minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as much as I agree with my colleague, I think it's implied, and we don't need to state so many things, in a law, it will influence. Once a member of a board is summarily convicted, by law, and the highest respect, we are all lawyers, by law, if you are convicted, you automatically cease, to be a member of the board. It's automatic. But we don't need to restate, that once you are convicted, you cease to be a member of the board. We don't need to go to that extent. No, I think it's implied. It's implied.
Your microphone. Mr. Speaker, can you tell me who will be asked to pay a fine without the fine following a conviction? If it is administrative fine, it means that the wrongdoing has been established against you. That is why you are paying fine by way of management. But what I am against is that if you agree by operation of the law, the person should cease to be a member of the board. Then why are you giving the opportunity for the person to make payment of money and continue to be a member of the board, which the amendment is seeking to do? Yeah. Because the amendment is saying that a member of the board who refused or failed to pay a fine imposed on the member under subsection 4 ceases to be a member of the board. It means if I pay the fine, I continue to be a member of the board.
Speaker, we had some prior agreement on the number of amendments to move, and we intend to stick by it. So may I suggest that the chair and my respected Ahiafo and co, they should relate appropriately together with the minister and, of course, our own anchor, whether there is the need for an express provision on sentiments conveyed by the member or not, or as Honorable Mokwata said, it's implied in the provision. There should be some consultation. So, Speaker, at this stage, I wish move the House to suspend consideration.
Well. So, honourable members, should we suspend clause 6?
Yes.
So it means we've come up to clause 5.
Yes.
We will take clause 6 again. So let me urge the chairman or the vice chairman, the former minister, and Honourable Ahiafo and all the teams to at least look into it and have a common stance on it. So on that note, I'll bring the curtains down on consideration and hope to continue from where we are leaving off tomorrow. So consideration has come to an end. Yeah, leadership, any indication?
Yes, Speaker. Speaker, shall we move on to item 8D? D for Daniel, 8D on page 3. Speaker, we are taking two items, 8D and 8E, all on page 3.
AD.
Speaker, 8D on page 3.
D, Daniel.
D for Daniel, and E for Emmanuel, the two items.
D and E.
D and E.
Okay. Very well. So, honorable members, let's turn to page 3. Page 3. Item 8D, item AD by the chairman of the committee.
Report of the Committee on Defense and Interior on the investigation into the statements made by Honorable Member for Botiano Englishi Amanfro, Honorable Sylvester Tete, on shooting at Botiano Hills by the police on 8th June 2023, leading to the death of 5 persons.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is for distribution to honorable members. Now let's turn to Ye by the chairman.
Report of the Special Committee of Inquiry into the contents of a leaked audio tape
What? Yes, I'm listening.
Speaker, that item E, I recall it shouldn't be under the jurisdiction of our respected chairman for defense. It was. Speaker, yes, I know, but it was an ad hoc committee that was constituted. So I'll seek your leave for the special chairman to lay that one to. Speaker, with your leave.
I don't have any problem, but where is the chairman?
The chairman, sit down. Speaker, the chairman is not here. Honorable Atacha is not here, and we are seeking your leave for the laying to be done by.
I don't have any problem. Is he okay that the report is laid?
We are related to him, and he's okay.
Well.
I've never had any special chairman here. But if you are giving the honorable special title for your atonement of sins, that's okay. Are you trying to atone your sins by giving him special title?
Honorable Isif. No, yes. Yes, chairman, do as the honors.
Report of the Special Committee of Inquiry into the content of a leaked audio tape of a high-ranking police officer and others in an alleged conspiracy to remove the current Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufu Dampare, and related matters.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. The report are to be distributed to honorable members.
Speaker, we can now turn on to 8A. I. Speaker, and further seek your leave for it to be done by the deputy leader.
Yes. So I pay 2, 8A by the majority leader.
Budget performance report in respect of the National Commission for Civic Education for the period January to December 2023. Budget performance report in respect of the Electoral Commission for the period January to December 2023. 2022 Annual Progress Report on the implementation of the Medium-Term National Development Agenda, an agenda for 2, creating prosperity and equal opportunity for all, 2022 to 2025.
Table, I hope you have to do it one by one, because the referral is supposed to go to different committees. So let's do the A.
Budget performance report in respect of the National Commission for Civic Education for the period January to December 2023.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Budget Committee for consideration and report. II.
Budget performance report in respect of the Electoral Commission for the period January to December 2023.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Budget Committee for consideration and report. I.
2022 Annual Progress Report on the implementation of the Medium-Term National Development Agenda, an agenda for jobs 2, creating prosperity and equal opportunity for all, 2022 to 2025.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Poverty Reduction Strategy for consideration and report. Whip, are we done for the day?
Yes, indeed. Speaker. Yes, I know. So I'll move a motion. Speaker, having regard to the time, I want to move this August House to adjourn to tomorrow, 10 o'clock at the forum. I so move.
Honourable members, there is a motion on the floor to adjourn the House to tomorrow. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I
The
support
counterpart,
the motion.
Honourable Minority Whip.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion for adjournment. Thank you.
Yes. The Honourable Minority Whip has also seconded the motion. The question is, all those in favour that the motion on the floor to adjourn the House to tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the forenoon, all those in favour say aye. All those no. Honourable members, it's obvious. The ayes have it. The motion is carried, and the House is accordingly adjourned to tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the forenoon. The House stands adjourned.